'Cause I never go a day without my mama. Mama, you know I love you. Ooh, you know I love you, mama. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. Your love is like food from a star. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Good morning. Good afternoon. Oh God, I can't believe this. I'm speaking and I got this idiot behind me. I don't even know what he's saying, but nevertheless, let me start off. I'm talking about good morning. First of all, let me say good afternoon, good evening to every one of y'all listening to me. Welcome to the Mental House with me, your host, Khadija. First thing I want to say to daughters of narcissistic abuse, y'all, we are very special. We survive the most intimate abuse, which is that of a mother that is incapable of loving any freaking body. And you survive some shit like that, and y'all excuse my language, but I have to keep it real. If you can survive that and what that feels like, and you know it leaves an empty hole in your soul, and it makes you question your relationships, how you relate to people, your emotional health, because it's not on point. Because if the first person that you attach and connect to is void of or incapable of loving anybody except yourself, then you just are given a false perception pretty much of what the world is. So I just want to give a shout out to all the daughters who have survived this type of abuse. I love you. God bless y'all. And let's keep this moving. You know, somebody said, well, what is the characteristics of somebody, you know, because my mom is crazy, and I think all mothers are crazy, and blah, 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 and all women act like this, and yada, yada, or they'll try to put it on a certain race, you know, or black women act like this, yada, 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 yada. Let me start this and give you, and I hate to use the word narcissism, because that word is starting to be oversaturated now. So why don't I just try it like this? These women with these personalities that is something is wrong, and you know something is wrong just sitting in the room with them, or if they go into a rage and flying up. Now everybody is allowed, you know, to be angry. You know, I can get pretty angry when I do. So I'm not sitting here trying to make it seem like I'm some kind of angel sitting back somewhere, and anger doesn't have its place. It does. What's important here is how we recuperate, how we act in the midst of those things, and what do we do while we're in the throes of it. See, I get angry, and I might, you know, say some things, or, you know, just say, well, I think that was, you know, whatever it was. I think that was blah, 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 blah. Okay, and there's some people that when they get angry, they might do that and the same thing, then they, you know, pull out a gun and shoot you. So, as evidence, we both handling this situation a little bit different, our anger. But what I noticed that these mothers that have this behavior, it seems like they all read the same playbook. Some of these characteristics that they have, they all share. So you know this must be a trait or a defining moment, a defining thing of these people. Otherwise, everybody that encounters these behaviors wouldn't say that. You know, it's not like, wow, or were you in my house last night? So some of the characteristics, in my opinion, deem y'all really doing self-inventory, because in certain cultures, especially the black community, you know, we are so revered with our mothers, you know, and as a mother, I know what that feels like, but fortunately, I have I have conversations with my offspring to let to let them know that I'm human first. Okay, then I'm your mom. And if you can't do that, then it's not gonna fare well. It's really not. It's just rough. And so when you having all these crazy things going on, dynamics, and you pushing them off on your children, you're really setting them up to be some really, really messed up adults. So let me start with some of these characteristics, and I want y'all to tell me if you can identify it in your family or with your mother, or are you? Because basically, if it fits you and you're narcissistic, you're not gonna sit in it anyway. Anyway, she does is undeniable. Is deniable. No matter what she does, she can be wrong. She's gonna deny it. Never happened to her. It's just deniable. Self-explanatory. She violates your boundaries. She favoritizes. She actually, most parents may prefer one child to the next. Maybe one that's not so uh, challenging. But to actually sit there and make the difference and to push the difference and to exploit the difference is a problem. It's to compare them to each other, and that's setting the kids up for a whole different dynamic of a relationship, and we'll talk about that. She undermines, she demeans, she criticizes, and she denigrates. She'll even do it to you in front of people. Listen to this. She demeans you, she criticizes you all the time, and she denigrates you. She makes you look crazy, like a Lifetime movie, where you know that the vampire is in this room, but nobody's believing you because the vampire is head of the PTA and has all these accolades from the mayor. Who's gonna believe you? She's envious. She's a liar in way too many ways to count. Did you hear me? She's a liar in way too many ways to count. Now, these are characteristics of the person. I'm not trying to tell you to go beat up your mama. Okay? Just listen to these characteristics because it's a sickness. She has to be the center of attention at all times. You see them on Jerry Springer. Some of these women sleep with their daughters, boyfriends, and stuff. She manipulates your emotions in order to feed on your pain. Let me say that again. She manipulates your emotion in order to feed off of your pain. She's selfish and willful. She's self-absorbed. She is insanely defensive and is extremely sensitive to the slightest criticism about her. Let me say that again. She is insanely defensive and is extremely sensitive to the slightest criticism about her. But remember, she criticizes everybody else. That's what she is, extremely critical. We talked about that up there. She demands, she criticizes, and she denigrates. But don't say not one word, don't even question anything that she does, says, or, just because it's all out World War III. Okay? She's terrorized you. She might have burned you with cigarettes. She might have put cigarettes out on you. She might have scrubbed your knees and ankles and neck and things until they bled. She may have molested you. She may have known that you were being molested and didn't do anything. That's terror. That's terror. And as a child, you're just a hostage to this bad behavior by somebody that is void of loving anybody. It's incapable of it. I'm not saying it's her fault. That's not my fault. But I'm just talking about the actions of these type of people. She's infantile and petty. Sometimes you wondering, is this my mom or am I the mom and she the daughter? Sometimes she'll want to put on the daughter's clothes. I mean, she's aggressive and shameless. Can be. Now, let me just suffice it to say this. I had known people that when their mother, they have been so traumatized by their mom that when the phone rings and they see it's their mom, their heart begins to race. It accelerates. That means this woman has done some serious damage to you emotionally, and that's called abuse. I don't know what you call it, because we've been taught to normalize this behavior and never say anything bad about our mothers, especially in the black community and the brown communities, Armenian communities. There's a lot of communities where, you know, the mother is so revered you can't say anything. Certainly not in the white community. But let me just make sure I say this, and be serious about it. I'm only making a point because mothers can be, in their own way, the worst first teachers that you ever had. Whether they do it purposely or intentionally, it's not really important. The fact of the matter is they fucked your mind up, and your heart up, and your soul up. And if you have a mother that has any one of these kind of characteristics, you probably have a big hole in your soul that needs to be adjusted. I know I did, and I know I do. So I want you guys to leave a comment, please, and tell me if you've ever experienced, or if you're experiencing this kind, men and women. Because a lot of men think that women are supposed to act like this, and then, or they'll brush it off and say it's her time of the month. No. This is crazy making. Crazy. You know, emasculating. It's abusive. And it is abuse. So please leave your comments below. I'm going to end this video right now. Thank y'all for being out there and listening. Again, daughters of mothers who are narcissistic, y'all, we're so special. I love you and I appreciate you, and I want you to know that you're extremely, extremely special. Because these women have had their way within your souls to allow you to think that you're not worth it. But I'm here to say that we are. We are. All right, may God bless you, and I will talk to you in a bit. See you in the next video. All right, bye.